guys, welcome to Funky's World. I want to thank Nick Opalewski for excuse me, recommending, or I should say requesting, for requesting that I review Royal Rumble 1991, which emanated from Miami, Florida. The matches were as follows. Try to go in order here. I'm trying to go in order here. Okay. Okay. First match was the Rockers versus the Orient Express, managed by Mr. Fuji. The Rockers defeated the Orient Express. The match was tremendous. It was just a really good wrestling match. It was back and forth. The Big Boss Man defeated the Barbarian. And it was actually a very athletic and hard-hitting match. Surprisingly, for two guys that size. Although, I have to tell you, the Boss Man, Ray Traylor, before he was the Big Boss Man, was Big Bubba Rogers, Jim Cornette's bodyguard. And he actually was a corrections officer in Cobb County, Georgia. That was his actual day job when he first started wrestling. He has since passed away. You had DiBiase and Virgil versus Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. DiBiase and Virgil won. Barely. And Ted DiBiase was absolutely horrible to Virgil the whole time, because this was leading into their feud. And this is when they separated. They split. Virgil finally left DiBiase. And I have to tell you, the crowd was bananas. I mean, they were incredible. They were so into every single match. Sergeant Slaughter won the title, the World Championship, after Randy Savage hit the Ultimate Warrior with the scepter and broke the scepter over his head. Remember, he was the Macho King. And Sherry was the sensational queen. So, and they had attacked the Warrior earlier. In the match. But anyway, remember, this was during the first Gulf War in 1991, and Sergeant Slaughter, Robert Remus, was playing a Iraqi sympathizer with his General Adnan, and I forget who Iron Sheik was playing. I want to say Colonel something, but I'm not sure. Which I think is kind of funny, given the fact that we were at war with Iraq, and yet they had the Iron Sheik, an Iranian, playing an Iraqi sympathizer. He's an Iranian. For those of you who don't know, Iran and Iraq don't like each other. So yeah, just so you know, they don't like each other. So that was a little weird to me, but whatever works. The matches were fabulous. I mean, Slaughter and Warrior was what it was. You know, Slaughter was older, and Warrior is Warrior. He can't wrestle. So, yeah, you would pretty much expect what you got. You know, which wasn't, I mean, it was a fight. It wasn't a match, and like I said. And just a side note, every single time that I've been to an arena that the Ultimate Warrior was scheduled to be at, there was a sign on the door saying, "We're sorry, the Ultimate Warrior has no-showed." Never once did I ask for my money back because that's how much I cared. And the last time I was at an arena where somebody didn't show up, it was Sid Vicious, and that's because he had an actual injury, so, or Sid Justice, or whatever you want to call him. Now on to the Rumble match. Oh, I almost forgot a match. The Mountie defeated Coco Beware in what was an okay match. It wasn't great. Wasn't anything to write home about. And I have a story from Roddy Piper about Coco Beware. One night, they had adjoining rooms. Roddy's trying desperately to fall asleep. He's got a pillow over his ears. And he cannot fall asleep because there's a conversation coming from Coco's room. He thinks Coco is on the telephone. So he opens the door and he's going to give Coco what for and tell him to pipe down. Well, when he opened the door, Coco was not in his room. Frankie the Bird was doing all the talking. You can tell Frankie to shut up all day. He's not going to. But yeah. I had to share that with you as a story from Roddy's book. Too funny. Now getting into the Rumble match. A couple of feuds to take note of. Jake Roberts and the model Rick Martel were in a feud at this time because Rick Martel had sprayed his arrogance in Jake's eyes and blinded Jake for a while, supposedly, and they had a match where they were both under hoods. I believe it was at Saturday night's main event. And they supposedly couldn't see each other and whatever. It's my understanding years later that the hoods were actually see-through. They were black, but they were black sheer, so they could see through them. Also, I figured out that if you are tall and lanky, like The Undertaker was at the time, he was a little more lanky, a little less filled out, you are at a disadvantage. When you're so tall that the top rope comes up to your waist, it's pretty easy to knock you out. That being said, you're better off being earthquake or tugboat sized around because you have a lower center of gravity. So just to give you an idea where we're going with the Rumble. Now, I will tell you the order that they came in. I cannot tell you the order that they went out in because it's too much work to do both. Let's see. And by the way, if your countdown, your 10-second countdown ends and you don't come out, you have the full 2 minutes until the next competitor comes out, then you have forfeited your right to be in the Rumble. Something I didn't realize. And that came later. Okay. And at that time, Rick Martel, by the way, ended up holding the record for the longest span in the Rumble. That has since been smashed. It was Bret Hart, then Dino Bravo, then Greg Valentine, then Paul Roma, then Kerry Von Erich, then Rick Martel, Saba Simba, a.k.a. Tony Atlas, Bushwhacker Butch, Jake Roberts, Hercules, Tito Santana, Undertaker, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Davey Boy Smith, Demolition Smash, Hawk, Shane Douglas, ? We'll get there, Animal, Crush, Demolition Crush, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Earthquake, Kurt Hennig, Hulk Hogan, Haku, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Luke the Bushwhacker, which he was in for about a second and a half. I never even saw him get in the ring. Nasty Boy Brian Knobbs. Number 29, the Warlord. And number 30, Tugboat. Okay. Once Tugboat came out, then it was known who number 18, who didn't show up, was. Oh, you know what? I did Demolition Smash. 16 was Hawk, and 17 was Shane Douglas. And 19 was Animal. Somehow I went from Smash to Crush. Sorry. Number 18, they didn't know by number 30 if it was Savage or Tugboat, because those were the only two names left on their list. Well, Tugboat came out at number 30, which meant the number 18 who did not come out was Randy Savage. I don't know the story behind that. If there was a storyline story behind that or something else going on. I also noticed that, I don't know if it was an oversight or what was going on, but when Gorilla Monsoon said WWF and not World Wrestling Federation, they didn't mute him. But when Roddy said WWF and not World Wrestling Federation, they muted him. Don't know why. And they also didn't mute Sergeant Slaughter when he said it. So I don't know what was going on there. So yeah, thank you for that request. I really enjoyed it. And again, on the call were Roddy Piper and Gorilla Monsoon. This took place January 19th, 1991. Again, thank you to Nick Opalewski for the request. I truly enjoyed it. I needed to have a rest today because tomorrow is going to be a crazy day. And don't forget, guys, we have food on that we're going to check very shortly from our other video. Excuse me. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day / evening. She must have had hiccups. Sorry, I have the hiccups. It's hard to talk with the hiccups. God bless you. And I will see you next time right here in Punky's World. Bye-bye.